Please send them to us. Send it at cbs17.com. Angela and Marius. Oh, we'll be right back.
I've covered a lot of these storms. I've covered a lot of.
We've been following coverage of our Raleigh affiliate WNCN as they track Florence. We'll track it more after a short break. You're watching CBSN. Always on.
Please send them to us. Send it at cbs17.com. Angela and Marius. Oh, we'll be right back.
I've covered a lot of these.
We've been following coverage of our Raleigh affiliate WNCN as they track Florence. We'll track it more after a short break. You're watching CBSN. Always on.
Please send them to us. Send it at cbs17.com. Angela and Marius. Oh, we'll be right back.
We've been following coverage of our Raleigh affiliate WNCN as they track Florence. We'll track it more after a short break. You're watching CBSN. Always on.
Please send them to us. Send it at
We're launching a new series called Pay Attention.
John is our guinea pig as we explore the impact of technology on our ability to focus.
You can go off down a rabbit hole that tells you, and here I'm now getting an Instagram photo, the text. Today I've gone without technology and increasingly I've had this hunted feeling.
You're stepping in the way of a habit. It's hard.
Having that focus back was nice.
It's not about throwing away your phone. It's about your relationship with your phone.
We're launching a new series called Pay Attention.
John is our guinea pig as we explore the impact of technology.
We continue to cover Tropical Storm
to
Florence, and to do so, we now turn to our Raleigh affiliate, WNCN, with more of their continuing coverage.
Flooding. Michael, when you were there earlier, it was dry as a bone. What are we seeing now?
You're stepping in the way of a habit. It's hard.
Yeah, when I checked in with you about 3.5 hours ago or so, the creek had risen earlier in the day, came down a little bit. Since I talked to you at about 7:30, it's up about a foot from where it was before. And I'm going to put that all into perspective in just a moment. But first, I want to show you here, Crabtree Valley Mall closed today, and you can see here in the parking garage, this is normally, if the creek is over its banks, then this entire garage ends up being underwater. Most everybody got their cars out of here. We saw in the garage there was very little left behind here. I'm going to ask Dan to come down here and show you the creek itself. You can see the water is moving pretty quickly, but it is still well below flood stage. I just checked in with the city of Raleigh a few minutes ago, and I got an email back from the stormwater administrator for the city, and he gave me a little explanation about what they're expecting regarding Crabtree Creek. He said based on the forecasted rainfall for Hurricane Florence, they were thinking at 1.6 to 10 inches over the course of 8 hours. At that point, they thought Crabtree Creek could potentially rise above its banks. He says at this point, the city's gotten about 1.5 inches over 12 hours, and Crabtree Creek is still 8.5 feet away from rising out of its banks, where I'm standing here at Glenwood Avenue. But of course, you guys were just talking about a few minutes ago just how heavy that rain was coming through. So we know that even though we may not have gotten the tremendous rainfall yet, we know there could be significant rain coming to Raleigh. So this is something we're going to have to monitor very closely over the weekend. Live in Raleigh, Michael Hyland, CBS 17 News.
Michael, I know we shouldn't make assumptions, but are the roads surrounding Crabtree Valley Mall all safe to be traveled on? Because we had heard earlier in the night that maybe Glenwood by Creedmoor was maybe flooded.
We just traveled through there. We've been literally all around the mall here in the last several minutes. There's a little bit of ponding in some locations. Nothing significant, though. Nothing that would force the road to be closed or anything like that. So far, it is safe to travel around here if you have to be, despite the fact that city officials are saying stay off the roads.
Yeah, great advice, because obviously when it's dark outside, you can't tell how deep the water is. Our Michael Hyland there live at Crabtree Creek near the mall, which is looking pretty good right now. Normally, we already see that area flooded. So, Michael, we'll check back in with you a little bit later. We
just want to remind you again, if you or anyone you know loses or has lost power, we're also simulcasting on our radio partner station Q98 and AM 640 WFNC. You can keep track of Tropical Storm Florence until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And it has been a mess in Fayetteville during the storm today. We know that 2 people have died in a house fire that happened around 7 o'clock this evening.
Yeah, crews rushed to a home on Lake Club Drive around 7 o'clock and found flames bursting through the roof. Obviously, the weather made fighting this very difficult. One firefighter also suffered minor injuries.
And of course, we don't know if Florence was directly related to this fire. We just know that it happened during the storm, so we're working to get that information. As for that firefighter, he was taken to the hospital to be evaluated. And seeing all day.
Holden drew the short straw, and he's been in some of the worst weather that we've seen since we began our coverage yesterday. Holden, what is it looking like at Wrightsville Beach right now?
Oh, I have some good news out here, guys. I'm going to take a few steps back here. You can kind of see it's raining, but I'm not getting soaked right now. I'm not getting beat with wind, and it's been actually a little odd. We're seeing a lot of activity on the roads, even though there's a county and citywide curfew here in Wrightsville Beach. There were actually like a convoy of diesel trucks that just pulled through this parking lot a while ago.
At Wrightsville Beach right now?
Oh, I have some good news out here, guys. I'm going to take a few steps back here. You can kind of see it's raining, but I'm not getting soaked right now. I'm not getting beat with wind, and it's been actually a little odd. We're seeing a lot of activity on the roads, even though there's a county and citywide curfew here in Wrightsville Beach. There were actually like a convoy of diesel trucks that just pulled through this parking lot a while ago.
At Wrightsville Beach right now?
Saw where the city of Wilmington Fire Department tweeted that a task force from Indiana arrived not too long ago, bringing supplies and offering any help that they can really give to the people here. The biggest issue, as I mentioned, are those trees that are down. Not only are they getting on houses, but they're getting on power lines. They want to urge people, even though you think that power line might be off because there's no power in your neighborhood, you don't want to go up and try and touch that power line.